Did you know that some fruits, often hailed as healthful, might actually accelerate aging, impair brain function, and spike blood sugar levels more than a can of soda? A 2023 study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that adults over 65 who regularly consumed certain high-sugar fruits had a 57% higher risk of developing metabolic syndrome, a condition linked to stroke, diabetes, and heart failure. The most concerning aspect is that these are the very fruits marketed as beneficial for digestion and overall health. Yet, they could be silently harming your body daily. For seniors, whose metabolism slows down and cellular resilience diminishes with age, the wrong fruit choices can have swift and detrimental effects. But there's hope. Some fruits act like natural medicine for seniors, aiding in lowering blood pressure, strengthening the heart, and rejuvenating the brain. In this guide, we'll unveil 4 fruits seniors should incorporate into their daily diet and 4 they should avoid at all costs. Don't miss the last one on the danger list. It's sweet, juicy, and beloved by many, but could be silently draining your energy and shortening your lifespan. Top 4 fruits seniors should eat daily. 1. Avocados. Harold had never thought much about avocados. At 74, he wasn't looking for new foods. He just wanted to keep his heart healthy, his blood pressure under control, and his vision strong enough to read the newspaper in the morning. Lately, though, it had been getting harder. His doctor warned him about rising cholesterol, especially the bad kind, and his blood pressure was inching up with each visit. The thought of adding another pill to his daily routine made him uneasy. Then one day, his granddaughter offered him half an avocado on toast. "It's good for your heart," she said with a smile. It sounded too simple to be true, but he gave it a try. Later, he found out why it helped. Avocados are full of monounsaturated fats, especially something called oleic acid. That's the kind of fat that actually lowers LDL, bad cholesterol, and helps raise HDL, good cholesterol. For someone like Harold, trying to avoid heart attacks or strokes, this little green fruit was a quiet helper. Even more surprising, avocados have more potassium than bananas. A whole fruit has nearly 975 milligrams. Potassium helps relax blood vessels and balance out salt in the body, which brings blood pressure down naturally. No side effects, no prescription needed. But what really caught his attention was something else: his eyes. Harold had been reading with more strain lately, and he was starting to worry. Turns out, avocados are also rich in lutein, a powerful antioxidant that helps slow down age-related macular degeneration, one of the main causes of vision loss in older adults. And perhaps the best part? Avocados help the body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like D, E, and K, especially for vegetables. That means if Harold ate a salad with just lettuce and tomatoes, he might not be getting much from it. But if he added a few slices of avocado, his body could absorb those nutrients up to 15 times better. Now, Harold makes sure to include just half an avocado a day. Sometimes he spreads it on whole grain toast. Other times he adds it to a smoothie or just eats it plain with a squeeze of lemon. It's simple, satisfying, and it fits right into the quiet rhythm of his life. He didn't need a miracle, just something that made a real difference. And for Harold, avocados turn out to be one small change with big rewards. 2. Apples, a gentle guardian for your golden years. When Margaret turned 68, she started noticing little changes. Digestion wasn't as smooth, her energy dipped more often, and routine blood tests showed creeping cholesterol numbers. She wasn't a fan of overhauling her diet, but her doctor suggested something simple: start with an apple a day. At first, it sounded too basic to matter, but over the months, that humble apple became her quiet companion, one that worked harder than it seemed. Apples are naturally rich in fiber, especially a type called pectin. For someone in their 60s or 70s, this matters more than ever. Pectin feeds the good bacteria in the gut, the kind that keeps digestion on track and the immune system strong. As we age, our bodies absorb nutrients less efficiently, but a healthier gut means you get more out of the foods you already eat. Margaret also learned something surprising. Pectin helps remove excess cholesterol from the body. It binds to it in the digestive tract and carries it out, Over time, this helped lower her LDL cholesterol, the kind doctors worry about. She wasn't just feeling better, her numbers were improving. 2. Another quiet helper inside apples? A flavonoid called quercetin. It helps reduce inflammation and supports the heart. For seniors watching their blood pressure or concerned about heart health, that's not just a bonus, it's a lifeline. Some of Margaret's friends worried about the sugar in fruit, but she found out apples have a low glycemic load, meaning their natural sugar is released slowly. Thanks to the fiber, her blood sugar stayed more stable, without the spikes or crashes. For those managing type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, that's a big relief. Even the simple act of chewing an apple brought benefits. It stimulated saliva production, which naturally protects against cavities and gum disease, issues that become more frequent as the years go by. How Margaret enjoyed her apple. She sliced it into her morning oatmeal, paired it with a few almonds for an afternoon snack, and even tossed thin slices into her spinach salad. It wasn't flashy, but it was consistent, and that consistency brought real change. So when someone asked her how she started feeling better without turning to a medicine cabinet, she just smiled and said, "I started with something simple. I started with an apple." 3. The power of pomegranates. It started with a small change. Mary, a 72-year-old retired teacher, had always been mindful of her health. But lately she noticed her blood pressure creeping higher and her memory becoming a bit foggy. It wasn't alarming, just subtle changes, forgetting where she left her reading glasses, or feeling more tired on her morning walk. Her doctor mentioned that these were common signs of aging. Your arteries get stiffer over time, he explained gently, and that can make your heart work harder. That's when Mary heard about pomegranates, not from a commercial or a fancy magazine, but from her neighbor, Tom, who'd started drinking pomegranate juice after his own doctor recommended it. "It's like medicine from nature," he said, pouring a ruby red splash into his morning smoothie. Pomegranates, it turns out, are much more than just a sweet fruit. They're filled with punicalagins, a type of antioxidant that's especially powerful, 3 times more potent than those found in red wine or green tea. These antioxidants help reduce something called oxidative stress in the arteries, which builds up naturally as we age. Over time, this stress can make it harder for blood to flow smoothly. But punicalagins help ease that burden, relaxing blood vessels and improving circulation. The science behind it is encouraging. In studies, older adults who added pomegranate juice to their daily routine saw their systolic blood pressure drop by 5 to 21%, a meaningful difference, especially for those dealing with hypertension. But the benefits didn't stop at the heart. Mary also learned that pomegranates support the brain, particularly memory. One study showed that seniors who drank pomegranate juice every day actually did better on verbal memory tests. That was enough to convince her to give it a try. Now, every morning, Mary adds a splash of 100% pure pomegranate juice, no added sugars, into her smoothie. Some mornings, she simply eats a half cup of the juicy seeds with her oatmeal. It's a small step, but she feels the difference: steadier energy, a clearer mind, and a quiet confidence that she's doing something good for her heart. Because sometimes, it's the simplest changes that make the biggest impact, especially when they come from nature. 4. Berries, a sweet companion to a sharper mind and a steadier step. Margaret, a 72-year-old retired schoolteacher, never thought a bowl of berries could change her days. But when she started adding a handful of blueberries to her morning oatmeal, she noticed something subtle but powerful. Her thoughts seemed clearer, her steps more sure, and even her spirits lifted during those quiet, lonely afternoons. This isn't just coincidence. Berries, like blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, hold a secret strength, especially for older adults. These tiny fruits are packed with anthocyanins, natural compounds found in plants that act as potent antioxidants. What do? They help reduce inflammation in the brain and improve communication between brain cells, which is essential as we age. Scientific research has shown something remarkable. Seniors who ate just 2 servings of blueberries per week experienced a delay in cognitive aging by up to 2.5 years. That's not just numbers. That's more time remembering a grandchild's name, more moments spent reading without confusion, more independence. But it doesn't stop at memory. Berries also enhance balance and coordination. That matters. As we grow older, a simple fall can lead to serious injuries and long recoveries. With better coordination, the risk of falls diminishes and confidence in movement grows. What's more, regular berry consumption has been linked to lower blood pressure, improved flexibility in arteries, and reduced inflammation markers in the body. For those managing heart conditions or high blood pressure, this could be a gentle ally in your everyday battle. How to enjoy? Start with just 1 cup a day. It's that simple. Add fresh or frozen berries to a bowl of oatmeal in the morning. Mix them into plain yogurt for a refreshing snack. Blend them into a smoothie on warm days. Avoid dried berries, though they often come with added sugars your body doesn't need. Top 4 fruits seniors should avoid. 1. The grapes that weren't so sweet after all. Margaret had always believed she was making healthy choices. At 72, she made an effort to walk each morning, get enough rest, and keep her diet light. One of her favorite snacks? Grapes. Easy to eat, sweet on the tongue, and found in every fruit bowl across America. But during her last doctor's visit, something caught her off guard. Her blood sugar levels were rising, despite avoiding desserts and cutting down on soft drinks. She was confused and frustrated. "I don't even eat candy," she told her doctor. That's when the truth about grapes came to light. Though they look innocent enough, a small cup of grapes can hold over 23 grams of sugar, the same amount found in a small candy bar. The problem isn't just the sugar, it's how little fiber grapes have. Without fiber to slow things down, that sugar rushes into the bloodstream, pushing blood sugar levels up fast. For older adults like Margaret, whose bodies may not regulate sugar as efficiently anymore, these spikes can be dangerous. Over time, they may lead to weight gain, inflammation, and even type 2 diabetes. There was something else Margaret hadn't considered. Unless she was buying organic, the grapes she snacked on were likely covered in pesticide residues. And while younger folks might tolerate a small amount of that exposure, seniors, often dealing with more sensitive digestion and weaker immune systems, could be more vulnerable to those toxins. Margaret left the clinic that day with a new outlook. She didn't need to give up fruit entirely, but she understood now that not every fruit is created equal. From then on, she paid more attention, not just to what she ate, but to how it affected her aging body. 2. The hidden dangers of dried fruits. It was a sunny afternoon when Mr. Thompson, a 72-year-old retired teacher, sat down at his kitchen table with a small bowl of dried apricots. He had always believed dried fruits were a healthy snack. Nature's candy, he called them. Sweet, easy to chew, and convenient. But over the next few months, he noticed his energy dipping more often. His blood sugar readings, once stable, began to spike unpredictably. And every now and then, a strange tightness crept into his chest. What Mr. Thompson didn't know, what many older adults don't, is that dried fruits, though natural, can quietly pose serious risks, especially for seniors. When fruits are dried, their water content is removed, but all the sugars remain. In fact, they become even more concentrated. That small handful of dried apricots Mr. Thompson enjoyed, it packed the same sugar load as eating several whole, fresh apricots, but in just a few quick bites. For older adults living with diabetes or even mild insulin resistance, this concentrated sugar can be dangerous. Just a small amount may cause sharp spikes in blood glucose, putting added stress on the body. Over time, this can lead to the onset of type 2 diabetes or make an already difficult condition even harder to manage. But sugar isn't the only concern. Many commercially packaged dried fruits contain sulfites, preservatives added to keep the fruit looking bright and to prolong shelf life. These sulfites might seem harmless, but for some seniors, especially those with respiratory sensitivities, they can be a hidden threat. Breathing becomes harder, the chest tightens, and asthma-like symptoms may appear, all from what seemed like a simple snack. Age changes everything. the way the body handles sugar, the way it reacts to additives, even how the lungs function, it all evolves. That's why it's so important for seniors like Mr. Thompson to look beyond the label, to understand the hidden story behind every food choice. Dried fruit may seem small, but the impact can be significant. For those seeking better health in their golden years, fresh fruits, in their natural, juicy state, may be a safer and more nourishing path. 3. The trouble with unripe bananas. Margaret, 72, had always enjoyed bananas with her morning tea. They were soft, sweet, and easy on her stomach, or so she thought. One day, in a rush at the grocery store, she grabbed a bunch that looked firm and green. They'll ripen at home, she told herself. But the next morning, not want to wait, she peeled one open and ate it just like that. By noon, Margaret felt an uncomfortable pressure in her belly. Her stomach was bloated, tight, and noisy. Gas pains came and went in waves. She chalked it up to age. Maybe it's just how my body is these days. But what she didn't realize was that the culprit was that unripe banana. You see, green bananas are loaded with something called resistant starch. Unlike regular starches, this kind isn't broken down in your small intestine. Instead, it moves along undigested to the large intestine, where it ferments and produces gas. For younger people, this might cause mild discomfort, but for older adults, whose digestion has naturally slowed with age, this can mean days of bloating, cramping, and distress. Worse still, unripe bananas contain astringent compounds, the stuff that makes them taste chalky and dry in your mouth. These compounds can irritate the delicate lining of the digestive tract, especially in older adults who already deal with sensitive stomachs or chronic gut issues. In some cases, this irritation might even spark low-grade inflammation in the gut, adding to discomfort over time. And here's the thing most people don't know. Green bananas are nutritionally inferior to their ripe, spotted cousins. They contain fewer antioxidants, meaning they offer less help when it comes to fighting off cell damage and inflammation, two big concerns as we grow older. For Margaret, the lesson was simple but important. Wait until the banana ripens. Now, she enjoys hers soft and speckled, knowing they're not just tastier, but kinder to her body too. 4. Grapefruit, a silent danger in your kitchen. For most of his life, Mr. Thompson, a retired teacher in his early 70s, started his day the same way, with a light breakfast and a glass of fresh grapefruit juice. He believed it kept him healthy. It was part of his routine for over a decade. But things began to change. After recent heart surgery, his doctor prescribed several medications to manage his blood pressure and cholesterol. A few weeks later, Mr. Thompson started experiencing unusual dizziness, muscle weakness, and extreme fatigue. His blood pressure was dropping too low, and his heart rate was erratic. At first, no one knew why. The answer turned out to be something as simple and surprising as grapefruit. You see, grapefruit, while often praised for its vitamin C and refreshing flavor, contains natural compounds called furanocoumarins. These interfere with an important enzyme in the small intestine, an enzyme that helps the body break down and absorb many medications properly. This enzyme, CYP3A4, is responsible for safely metabolizing over 85 commonly prescribed drugs, including those for high blood pressure, cholesterol, heart rhythm, anxiety, and even some pain medications. When grapefruit blocks this enzyme, it can cause medication levels in the blood to rise to dangerously high levels, even if you're only taking the normal dose. And here's the part that surprises most people. Even half a grapefruit or a small glass of juice can be enough to cause this reaction. The effects don't go away immediately. They can last for up to 72 hours after eating or drinking grapefruit. Mr. Thompson was lucky. After a hospital visit and careful review of his medications and diet, his doctor spotted the issue and helped him adjust. But not everyone is as fortunate. As we age, the foods we choose can either support our health or quietly work against us. The right fruits can help you feel more energized, think more clearly, and protect your heart and brain. But the wrong ones can spike your blood sugar, trigger inflammation, and even interfere with your medications. It's not about giving up fruit. It's about choosing wisely. By making a few smart swaps, you can enjoy the benefits of nature's best medicine while avoiding hidden risks. Take care of your body, and it will take care of you.